And time now for the nation's sharpest opinion. And Donald Trump has said that what he wants to carry out is regime change in Iran, which means he's making it absolutely clear he's not after any nuclear weapons, he's not after anything else. He wants to carry out regime change. And the reasoning for regime change is very clear: Iranian oil. Trump wants Iranian oil, and he's not going to stop at the bombing of Fordo and the two other sites. He wants to remove Khamenei and wants to put in a puppet. So what he said is that it's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be regime change? Now imagine, impose that logic on America. If any other country says, Trump can't make America great again, so let's carry out regime change. It's the position which America comes from which is extremely concerning. America comes from a position where it says, we decide who runs which country in the world and for how long. And if they run according to American interests, which means if they give every ounce of minerals and oil and profit and trade to America, then we will let so-and-so run the country. And if they say no, then remember what we did in Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, I said that earlier, and now I have been proven correct, that the Americans carried out a regime change operation and put in the so-called Professor Dr. Muhammad Yunus, who's nothing but a puppet, and they put him as an acting president because they wanted to carry out regime change, because Sheikh Hasina was not letting them access St. Martin Island and turn a part of Bangladeshi soil into an American military base. Now, this is a dangerous point of view. And even if you come from the view that Iran cannot be justified, please remember, in Iraq, it was a WMD hoax. Iran, it is the nuclear hoax. Please remember, American National Intelligence head Tulsi Gabbard has said that there is no nuclear bomb that is being built by Iran. But Trump says, no, there is a nuclear bomb. But in its annual threat assessment report on March 18th, the American government said, we continue to assess Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and that Khamenei has not authorized or reauthorized the nuclear weapons program he suspended in 2023. Now, the bottom line is, what does this mean? This essentially means that all of this talk about Iran building a nuclear bomb is complete fiction. If it is fiction, then what does America want? America wants to basically control a new government. Khamenei is not going to submit himself to the Americans, so the Americans want to put in someone else, maybe someone like the puppet, ex-so-called Crown Prince of Iran, Raza Pahlavi, who lives between Texas and New York. He's lived in America for 45 years. He has nothing to do with the Iranian people, but now he's saying that I have a direct message for Ali Khamenei, step down, and if you do, then you'll receive a fair trial. I'd like to ask, who is the so-called Crown Prince speaking on behalf of? He's not speaking on behalf of the Iranian people. He's speaking on behalf of the Americans and offering himself as some kind of an interim leader to make it easier for the Americans to rule Iran by proxy. And how bad is that? America wants to rule other countries by proxy, but I'd like to warn Trump, he's going to mess it up. I'd like to remind Trump about the botched-up operation in Afghanistan, where the US fought for 2 decades and lost and had to run away. And Taliban has full control today of Kabul within 40 days of the American withdrawal from the Bagram Air Base. See, Trump is a problematic character. He's going to create problems in the world. The Americans should remember there's nothing called a quick war. They should remember the blunder in Iran, where NATO went into Libya in 2011 to, quote-unquote, protect the civilians during the Arab Spring. The intention was to kill Muammar Gaddafi, which they did, but they also destroyed Libya. No stability, no economy, and no safety. And that's what they have done. Remember what they did in Vietnam? They botched up. Iraq, they botched up. Afghanistan, they messed up. Libya, they destroyed. Bangladesh, they are destroying. And now the Americans want to get into Iran. Sometimes I believe that the Americans have some suicidal instinct as a country. And that's what they are doing. In fact, what the Americans need to understand is that the Ayatollahs are the byproduct of US meddling. Anyone who understands history will remember that it is the CIA and the British intelligence-led coup of 1953 that led to the ouster of the Shah of Iran. Imagine this, 1953, ladies and gentlemen. And 72 years later, this country has not learnt a lesson. It's a mess. America is a mess. $38 trillion of debt. They want to carry out regime change in Iran. My prediction tonight, and read my lips, this is going to be a long war if America takes it to the next level. If they want regime change, they'll have to get their boots on the ground. If they get boots on the ground, there will be insurgency. If there's insurgency, American soldiers will also die. And if American soldiers die, Trump will lose his job. Someone should tell the Americans as straight as I have said it tonight. Mr. Donald Trump, if you're listening to this tonight, if you get any deeper into this, you will not last your term.